couple of days ago, I did a video about loosh and light. So I thought I would follow up with that by helping you to better understand what the 7 signs of having a demon in your life would look like. So I'll begin with saying peace and blessings. I'm actually quite enthused, I think is the word I want to use, about making this video because it could literally help open your eyes to some things that you haven't seen before so that you can eliminate the devil's minions from your 6 degrees. So, how to know if you have demons in your life. And a lot of you really have no idea. Number one, that they're there. Number two, that they truly exist in physical forms. And three, that whether you call them by the name of demon, daemon, jinn, devil, the devil's children, they all wrap up into the same entity that most definitely can possess you, possess your soul, and you're basically their puppet or walking meat suit. I know it doesn't sound pretty, but it's a very real thing. Some people know of them in lore by the word vampire. And of course, there are psychic vampires as well. All fit into the same category of the demons because they're all after the loosh. It's all about the loosh. Every bit of it is about the loosh. Okay. So I'm going to provide you this information, and then it is up to you to remove those demons, take those demons out of your life. You know, use your own discernment, use your wisdom, your knowledge, your understanding that you're being led by the Holy Spirit and your higher spirit to better see with a different lens, a new eye, if you will, or eyes. So the number one sign that someone's a demon, and I mean, this isn't like any particular order, it's just the one I'm starting with. So let's get that straight too. But demons will always tempt you. Okay, so demons will always tempt you. That means they're going to try to provoke you, provoke your rage, provoke your wrath, provoke your anger. Because this is that form of energy harvesting, that loosh that they're trying to drain from you and feed off of. I'm sure some people have heard the expression or used the expression that some people feed off of drama, right? They love drama. They're obsessed with drama. This is typically gossipers, pathological liars, manipulators of all sorts, you know, narcissists, gaslighters, bullies, etc. The list goes on and on. All of these people, at the end of the day, are feeding off of loosh. Okay. So whether they know it or not, They're working for the devil. That's simple. By whatever other name you want to give it. A lot of people think that they're an alien entity that doesn't belong here on this planet, and I would concur and agree 100%. Some know them by the reptile type terms, as well as the vampiric type terms. One and the same. May not look the same, but they're one and the same. So they're looking to harvest your energy, drain your energy, which I'm going to talk about in the number 2 spot too. Okay. But the main goal of edema is to get you to jump out of your character, lower your vibration. Because when you jump out of character, now you're more prone to do things that you would later regret, that just aren't something you would normally do. And this is going to create that negative self-talk in you that I spoke of in the other video, because we tend to have that remorse and that regret and those sorries for how we have behaved. Even if the other person behaves that way, we don't want to stoop to their level, because that's exactly how they can rise above us. They drain our energy. They feed off of the negative loosh, and they're able to become more powerful in that. And then they become an even more powerful bully or narcissist or whatever to try to manipulate you further and trigger more things in you, which is also why it's very important to learn the self-love and the self-control of emotion and etc. But anytime that you're doing things out of negative emotion, this is when they're going to be feeding off of your energy. So demons provoke you, okay? Because this is a spiritual war. So they're provoking you. Demons love for you to go out of character. They love to get you to operate out of God's will in your life. So anything and everything that they can do to provoke you or tempt you to act out of character, they're going to do. And this includes, but is not limited to, alcohol, drugs, multiple other forms of addiction, sex, gambling, etc. Right? Lying is even an addiction. Wanting to be in control is an addiction. It's an unhealthy response, right? An unhealthy desire. So all of these things are forms of addiction that, for whatever reason, whatever trigger is causing you to do this, it's still your free will. At the end of the day, you're still the one choosing it. And it's acting out of God's will to behave in such a way, because it's not of love. This would include also trying to get you to engage in arguments, right? So that back and forth exchange that you're doing is going to be another way that they can feed off of your energy, which is going to leave you feeling drained and them feeling energized, right? Just like the person that's a fiend for the drama, any kind of drama and gossip. So, don't fall into that trap and allow yourself to lower your standards, because lowering your standards is lowering your vibration. And when you lower your vibration, that's the food that they can feed off of. They can't feed off of the light. They can't feed off of love. So you being a child of God, you being a chosen one, by walking in your righteousness, is what's going to protect you, you know, and you need to walk in that faith and that trust of the Holy Spirit, your higher spirit in guiding you, your intuition. Listen to that voice in your head, and don't let the trolls and the bullies that want to cut you down and scoff at you get to you, because they love to provoke you to get you out of character. So just keep that in mind. I know that it's hard to ignore them, and even in ignoring them, sometimes they will do further things to provoke you, to try to get your goat, right, so to speak. And what does that mean, to get your goat? Well, in the Bible, we speak of the sacrificial lamb or sheep. Why not a goat too, right? And I just feel like that's what that means. Is to get your goat means to get your spirit, get your low energy, right? I mean, if we look at goats and sheep, the goat would be a lower vibration of a sheep, right? So don't let them get your goat, because the demons are all energy vampires. And that essentially means that they love to drain your energy, right? A demon could drain your energy in many different ways, but the main way would be you giving your energy to them. This is a free will thing. And so that's why they're called tricksters. You know, the Native Americans referred to them as tricksters, because they will try to dupe you and trick you into freely giving them this food that they want, this food that they need, right? So they're going to try to get you out of character. They're going to try to make you mad, angry, sad, regretful, remorseful, wrathful, um, feeling bad about yourself, making you talk very poorly to yourself. So, I need for you to remember, for yourself, I need you to remember this for you, that this is a spiritual war. This is spiritual warfare. So put on the belt, and, the belt of truth. Um, put on your boots of peace, armor up, armor up. Put on your armor of God and walk in that. It's very important right now. It's really very important that you understand this. And it's important that you use discernment for these people that are around you that are actually working for the devil. And I know that's hard for a lot of people to wrap their mind around. This could very well be people that you love, right? That you care for. But they're essentially a minion for the devil, because they're that person that's in your life, that's in your face, cutting you down, pushing your buttons, trying to get your goat, right? Those types of people that are bullies and narcissists and gaslighters and being confrontational with you out of the blue. Usually that's an out of the blue thing. They're being confrontational. That's the devil's work. And the more we vibrate on a higher level, the more of those types of tests that are going to come at us. Now, you could look at it from the duality perspective and say, the devil works against God. Or you could see it from a higher perspective and see that the devil actually works for God in testing you to see how strong is your faith in God. It's a necessary evil to level up. And the more you stand firm and wear your armor of God and be righteous, the less you're going to be tested, because those tests won't be necessary any further. So it's really vitally important to your human well-being as well as your soul's well being to understand these things and to use this discernment wisely. Um, and, be able to operate from a place of love and understanding. And I'm not saying that if someone has done something to you that needs to be addressed, that it shouldn't be addressed. Because of course we need to have clear boundaries, and of course we need to address issues that we would have with each other. But there's a way to do it and there's a way to not do it, right? So be diplomatic and be as politically correct as necessary for the situation, whomever it may be. You don't need to be politically correct in some situations, and others it needs to be on an extreme. Use your discernment. You know, be tactical, be tactful. Use your integrity. Walk in integrity in the way that you deal with an issue, versus stooping to their level. Because at the end of the day, they are serving their master. They're feeding that wolf. Which wolf are you feeding? Which master are you serving? Do you become a puppet for the devil's work, or do you become a soldier for the creator? And you could change your mind from day to day, minute to minute, hour to hour, whatever. I mean, that's possible too, because it takes exercise and practice to reprogram once we're used to being goaded and being um, triggered and having our buttons pushed and those things. And that's another thing. Having a trigger is not always about some past crap you need to heal. Sometimes triggers are essentially that you're fed up with people treating you like shit. And it's time for you to stand up for yourself and to put that clear line in the sand and say no more. It can be as simple as that. It doesn't mean that there's some healing that needs to be done in the past. It just means that you know who the heaven's name you are, and you're not going to take this shit no more. There's nothing wrong with having that clear boundary, that clear line in sand. Just try to do it as tactfully as possible. I'm trying to skim through my notes here and make sure I haven't missed anything so far. Okay, so the next thing is people that are possessed by demons that I want to move on to. Because again, this is a very real thing, and this can happen for a multitude of reasons. Possession. One way that you can become possessed, or someone can become possessed, is by being in severe depression. When they don't have a whole lot of will to live or zest for life anymore, they basically have checked out almost, right? They're just kind of a walking zombie, because they're so severely depressed. And yes, those people do need healing, definitely. And if you're one of those, I can help with that. But this is that level of lowness where you just feel so low about your own self-esteem, your own life in general, your own love for self is just so low that you're basically a walkout. And so you're easily possessed because you've pretty much given up your free will to live, right? Because you have no zest for life anymore. As well, if you're consuming alcohol to the point of um, your character changing. All alcohols, every alcohol, whether it's a beer or a booze, has their own demons. That's why they're called spirits, because they all have their own demons. Same thing with drugs. All drugs have their own demons. Ask a heroin addict what kind of demons they have, and then go talk to a coke addict and ask them about their demons. I guarantee you the demons are going to be different. They're going to be totally different demons because each thing has its own demons, right? So, and gambling has its own demons. I mean, there's all kinds of things that people will do to their friends, to themselves, to their possessions in order to achieve this addiction, that high from that addiction, you know. And again, that's because they need to be healed. But nevertheless, they're not getting the healing. They're trying to cover it up instead. And so this leaves themselves open for being possessed. And the more you imbibe um, or entertain these addictions, the more possessed you become. And so the harder it is to break those habits because you have more of the demons in you. You've basically become the meat suit, unknowingly, maybe, likely. And so it's important to understand that demon possession is a very, very real thing. And in general, in our life and society, there is a multitude of things that tell us how we should look and how we should act and how we should talk and how we should. And if you don't meet those criterias, well, that's another way for you to feel bad about yourself there. And that's another way for you to feel bad about yourself there. And nope, didn't meet that checkbox either, blah, blah, blah. And you just keep going down the list. And it's taken a notch of your self love and your self esteem and your self worth away from you with each little tidbit the society feeds you to tell you who you should be and how you should feel and how you should act. It's programming. It's programming. You're hackable, remember? So we need to use our discernment to protect from demon possession and to protect from those who are allowing demon possession. And yes, it is always a choice. Always. It is always a choice. So, yes, it takes great strength for you to ignore these people, turn the other cheek, walk away from them, not engage in the arguments. Trust me, I know it takes strength. I've been there. I've been there daily. I get tested all the time about some shit. It takes some big strength, but you can do it. So armor up. Wear your, what is it, 7 pieces of God's armor and walk in your righteousness. Walk in your truth. Walk in your glory. Walk in your light. Walk in your faith that good will prevail, that the meek do inherit this earth. Because we are, as you speak, as I speak, as we think, we create. Timelines are converging and things are changing. So do not give up. Do not allow defeat because this stuff is real. This spiritual war is real and it is a struggle for all of us. Just remember who your maker is. Remember your Christ consciousness. Remember Jesus' teachings. No, I'm not some preacher on a pulpit preaching you the fire and brimstone. But at the same time, I am trying to bring back the closeness and connection to God in a very serious way. I personally am not trusting of the church any further. I personally have had multitudes of reasons to not be. But the words in that book the teachings that Jesus was trying to get across to everyone. Those are the lessons that we will achieve together. That is the people that we will become, that God created. The truly righteous, not saintly. Not saintly. We're not saints, but we are God's soldiers if we choose to be. Let's walk in that blessing. Let's walk in that light of hope and faith, because the majority of people are good. And the ones that aren't good, the ones that are possessed, the ones that are the minions and the puppets and the meat suits for the devil, those are the people we should pray for the most. Those are the people that we need to be the most compassionate for, because those are the people who were so low in their vibration because of whatever shit came at them in life that they couldn't pick themselves up and they didn't have strong enough free will, that they submitted to this takeover. So don't hate your enemy. Don't hate the adversity. You take it as a lesson in how you can further help God's mission to fulfilling the plans and the goals of real love, real acceptance, real compassion for all, the good and the evil. Plenty of you out there right now who watch my type of content and others similar to me. We're all in that same boat with knowing real truths about the evils that are transpiring and have transpired on this planet for quite some time. And it's easy for you to be angry about it. It's easy for you to be sad about it. Understandably so. Just keep in mind that when you're learning these things, when you're focusing on these things, when you're sharing these things, be mindful of where your energy level is in this, because we cannot be louche. It's necessary to learn. It's also necessary to have the inner strength and the willpower to mentally sustain and survive what you're learning. Otherwise, you're better off not knowing, because you're not helping the cause if you know and you can't deal with it. You're not. You have to be able to know what it is and not fall apart, so that we can transmute that energy and we can save people that need and want to be saved. And make this world the place we want it to be for all. And I don't even know if I made it through all 7 of them at this point, because I kind of went off on a bit of a tangent there. But I feel like it was a necessary tangent to be on. But it's not, I really just want to emphasize that it isn't God's will for us to be angry with each other, or hateful, or jealous, or any of those negative things, you know? That's not part of God's will of his creation. So, you know, and that actually that's one of those seven is jealousy of your success, of others' success. And so when you're feeling jealous of someone else or they're feeling jealous of you, that's the demons that are talking. You know, misery loves company. So they don't want to see someone get a leg up. They don't want to see someone succeed if they aren't. And some will even go to the extent of helping to sabotage your success. And maybe even while they profess to care about you and love you, be your friend or your spouse or your sibling, your parent, your child, whoever, you know. Um, so jealousy of success, that's definitely another one. They don't want to see others making progress. Um, and they're going to do whatever they can to bring your happiness out of you and bring you back down to a lower vibration, you know. And even in that, you know, I get it that sometimes the steps that are necessary to get away from such people can really feel like you're trying to claw your way out of a well that you fell into that has no ladder. I get it. But where there's a will, there is a way. You just have to will your manifestations into creation, into existence, and walk in the faith that they will. And I guess another one really talking about the discernment of it. Typically, when you have someone who is demon possessed or is demon themselves around you, well, and side note, let me just say that demons can look completely perfectly human, but that does not mean that they actually are. Keep that in mind too. All these people we call shapeshifters, or you know, sometimes people call them clones and stuff. That's not necessarily what's going on. I'm not saying that that doesn't happen. I'm just saying that's not necessarily what's going on. But there will be people around you who will warn you about this said demon or said possessed person in one way or another. Someone will try to warn you about them. And so pay attention to those red flags. Um, and again, use your discernment, you know, because yes, God will use people to work through you to get through to you, but also, you know, the devil will as well. So you could be around somebody that's really great and they're telling you that it's a bad person, you know. So again, use your discernment. Listen to that voice, that internal voice. Just run through my notes here and see what I'm missing because this is kind of running a little longer than I anticipated it to. Other people that are demons or that are demon possessed would be people that pop into your life and then they just suddenly disappear again and you have no clue where they're at. Like they won't reply to your texts, they won't reply to your phone calls. You won't be able to find them or see them anywhere. They'll just poof magically be gone. And then, you know, a month or two later they'll pop back in again. That's how you know that they are demons or they're working for the devil. Because those are the people that are trying to get you in that energy of like the runner and chaser right? And that doesn't have to be with um, romantic relationships alone. That can be in platonic relationships as well. I've had friends that do that to me. It's that hook and bait and hook thing, right? Bait you and hook you and then ditch you. Bait you and hook you and then ditch you. Stand you up, leave you hanging, block your freaking phone number so that you can't call them and ask them what the hell's up, right? Like these type of people work for the devil, and some of them don't even realize it. They don't even realize it. They don't know that they're possessed. They don't realize it. Um, Another way to know that it's a demon or someone who works for the devil is that when they are speaking to you, they'll try to lower your vibration by talking about negative things. Um, are constantly focused or geared toward negative intentions or negative conversations or things that are going to bring down your vibration rather than lifting you up. So keep that in mind too. Um, Demons always come with a hidden agenda, right? Like they've got some kind of secret motive or agenda. They have some type of agenda. I don't really know how to better explain that at the moment. I'm kind of getting tired and hungry. I'm hungry. I need to eat. I need some food. Feed me, Seymour. But yeah, people that are working with the devil, they're like so sad within themselves and so insecure within themselves that it's basically a bondage, right? They're enslaved, they're entrapped in this because they don't know how to pull themselves out of it. They don't have the um, strong will to do this on their own. And I mean, you can certainly choose to try to help save them. And in my opinion, that's what being saved really means. It's not this Christian version of, you know, um, Jesus died on the cross to save us from our sins. Because I don't buy that. I don't buy that at all. I feel like if you're the one sinning, you're the one's going to get the repercussions from it until you learn. Um, and look how long he's been gone, and how many people have sinned and done really ugly things since then. Do they all get a free pass just because Jesus died on a cross? I wouldn't think so. I personally think he was to shut him up. So, because he was trying to teach us some very powerful stuff, just as I'm trying to assist in trying to teach you as well, and keep getting knocked down left and right. Technical issues, internet connections, brand new computers quitting working all of a sudden, um, people in my 6 degrees that are trying to keep my vibrations down or get me distracted or try to get me to engage in an argument or whatever. I mean, and it's not like one person, it's several. It's several people. They're all doing this. Um, and it's funny to notice how they'll all pop in like in the same day or in the same week, right? Like it'll all happen like popcorn popping. And it's become so obvious to me now when it happens. It's so obvious. And I walk in that faith and I trust my intuition and I listen to my inner voice. So now I'm at that point where I understand, you know, that when this, and this is happening, that it's really just this, the whole bigger picture. It's this, right? Because I'm on a mission to help unshackle us all, basically, right? And you're gonna get shit slung at you. So, do you wear your bulletproof wrist cuffs like Wonder Woman and your lasso of truth, or do you get defeated and drugged down? I'm not getting defeated, and neither should you. We're in it to win it. At least I am. And so I'm just trying to help you see all of the different ways to relate to the situations in your daily life and why they happen the way they do, and how to deflect and protect and still walk in your light. And for those of you that don't know what the armor of God is, do a Google search on it. I mean, it's in your Bible. I can't quote the exact chapter and book and all that because I'm not that good at the Bible. But it is in there. So Google it, look it up. I'm pretty sure there's 7 pieces. There's like uh, the arm shields, the breastplate, the crown, the sword, the boots, like the whole deal there, the belt of truth. And it's really important that you understand how to armor up as a child of God and walk in your righteousness and walk in your protection and use your shields. And yes, folks, we have shields that we can put around us. A totally invisible but impenetrable shield that you can put around you. Absolutely 100% real. And they really can deflect even bullets. No lie. But I think that's where I'm going to leave it because I am starving to death and I am really tired. It's like 3 a.m. So if you enjoyed this video, if you found it informative, please give me a thumbs up. Help me build the channel. Share the video far and wide. Let's change the algorithms. Let's change the game. Let's flip the script. Let's do this together. And if you would like to be on the show, hit me up. I love talking to people. Way better than I like talking to a screen, right? Like way better. I would love to put you on my platform and let you tell your story or just talk to me or whatever. So hit me up. And yeah, until next time, be well and be blessed in love and light, guys. Stay strong.